Well, howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, and what we are looking at are, these are cam caps or camshaft caps, and this is a secondary camshaft tensioner, secondary timing chain tensioner for the secondary timing chain for the dual overhead cams. And these are upgraded timing chain tensioners. As you can see, there's quite a bit of difference. Now, this is the factory timing chain tensioner. And again, as you can see, this one is broken. And these are upgraded. We're going to get this replaced. But what is this off of? This is going to be off of a Lincoln LS 3.9 liter engine, also known as a Jaguar 3.9 liter engine. Let's go have a look at it. Alright folks, and here we are at our Lincoln LS model 3.9 liter engine. You know, they're good engines, they run great. The only problem is they come from the factory with a plastic timing tensioner, and I mean the whole thing is plastic. The housing, casing, whatever you want to call it, on both sides the whole thing is plastic, and what happens is the casing or this top guide here will break, and when that breaks, it gets down into your oil sump. Worst case scenario, it can cause all kinds of major damage and whatnot. I have seen them just like this one where they partially break and only part of it comes off, and over time it slowly deteriorates. I've seen it so bad though that the chain has tore into the actual metal part of the timing guide, and that's what was wrong with this Lincoln. Ultimately, that's one of the main issues. It also has some oil leaks, and we're doing some electrical work to it as well and stuff. But one of the main issues was that the timing guide, the secondary timing guide, had broken, and some of the symptoms were it was running kind of funny off and on here and there, had some random misfires and whatnot. But most importantly is when you gave it the gas, or when you gave it some throttle, you would hear what sounded like trash, or almost like a diesel engine, is what it sounded like. And that's because that chain was slapping around on the broken timing tensioner. So here I've already got the timing tensioner removed, and as you can see, I've been able to do so without having to tear the whole front part of the engine down, and removing my main chain on this side. Now, this vehicle actually has 4 chains. It has one chain right here, one. This is not the same chain as this one, okay? So this is one chain. This is chain number 2. And then we've got chain 3 and 4. And if you look down in there, you can see where this is one chain. And then you're gonna have your second chain. You see it down in there. That goes to this side. And so there you go. So I've been able to take this apart, remove my camshaft here, as you can see, lift it up and out, and do so without losing my timing on my chain and camshaft. Now, how have I done that? As you can see, I went ahead and installed some zip ties here, and I zip tied the chain in place on the camshaft. Okay, and so that's what's allowed me to remove the exhaust cam just enough, pick it up just enough so that I can get my tensioner in and out of there and not have to take the whole stinking thing apart, and then just set it all back down and we're good to go. Now, that's only if you haven't lost timing on it. The best way to check timing on this is go ahead and turn the engine over and look at your cam lobes right here. These really aren't cam lobes, these are cam lobes. But look at your flat spots on your camshaft. If they are equal to each other, then you've got TDC. And then you can also look at your cam lobes here. Okay, so if you're dealing with a broken tensioner, right, and you're looking and you turn your engine over and you notice that your cam lobes are not flat, then what you need to do is before you zip tie it, you can still go ahead and loosen this exhaust cam. You just need to figure out where its timing needs to be set at, and while it's out, go ahead and reset the timing on your exhaust. If you've lost it over here, then you're just gonna have to go in and redo the timing, but most of the times you're gonna lose it on your exhaust. So the best way to go ahead and tackle this job is obviously go ahead and get your valve cover removed. In order to do that, you're going to want to move your power steering reservoir, get that out of the way. Anything else, you don't necessarily have to disconnect it or drain it, you just need to unbolt it and move it out of the way. Same thing with all of your connections and stuff. Don't fully disconnect it, just unbolt it so you can manipulate stuff and move it all out of the way. You're going to be using 7mm and 8mm sockets, as well as 10mm sockets. You're also going to need Ford's quick disconnect, and you're going to want to get you some new O-rings for your fuel line, because you're going to have to disconnect that. And then go ahead and get your valve cover out of the way, and then once you've done that, go ahead and set your timing. Make sure your timing's correct by making sure your cam lobes, turn your engine over, go ahead and take your belt off, and then turn your engine over and make sure that your timing is set correctly so that your cam lobes are flat with each other. Once you've done that, either A, go ahead and zip tie your chain to your exhaust cam, or if you don't have timing set, do what you can to reset timing, then go ahead and zip tie your chain to your exhaust cam. Then once you've done that, all you got to do is take out your two 8mm bolts on your tensioner and lift your exhaust cam out, and then you're going to kind of turn your tensioner. Once you pull it out, you're going to pull it out and turn it at the same time and pull it right out. So that's what it's going to look like when it's uninstalled. We'll go over to this side as a reference for when it is installed. Now let's go and look again at that tensioner so I can show you how it breaks. Alright, and so here we are back at the tensioners. Now, with the kit that I bought for this owner, my supplier, my wholesaler, hooked us up with an upgraded version of this tensioner. If you notice, first of all, there's a few differences. So here is the factory broken tensioner. You can actually see, now that I got it out, this thing grenaded itself. That's what I call it. You see that crack there? Lighting's not too good, but yeah, you can see that crack right there. Alright, this thing grenaded itself, and then of course the guide itself came apart. And that's what it's supposed to look like. But as you can see, one side broke off. When I found it, if you go back to the previous video on that, it was sitting like this. And then it had also obviously grenaded itself. So that's what these do, okay? That's what these plastic tensioners on these 3.9 liters do. Is it worth junking the car or the engine? No. It can be a little costly to fix. But again, if you upgrade it, you know, and that's a factory upgrade. So if you factory upgrade it, you don't have to worry about it. And yeah, they still went with the plastic guide rail there, but look at the difference. And the camera actually doesn't do it any difference, but you can see the difference in how that guide rail works. So there you go. Give me just a second, I got a kiddo hollering at me. Okay, so this tensioner is for the driver's side. This tensioner is for the passenger side. Now, on this vehicle, what's interesting is the passenger side, it hasn't broken yet. Okay, notice I said yet. To be honest with you, it's not a matter of, oh, it's not broken, we shouldn't fix it. On this deal, in this situation, the reality of it is this side is going to break as well. And I'm wondering if, in order to stay as honest as people claim me to be, if I should, since I'm already in here, the reason why I took this valve cover off is because we're replacing things like this, seals and gaskets. And so, honestly, it would only take me the better part of a morning and an afternoon to go ahead and move forward, secure this camshaft chain by, again, since my lobes are already, since my camshaft flat spots are already flat. Again, these are cam lobes, these are not lobes. But since my flat spots line up, since this engine is set, it honestly wouldn't hurt to go ahead and zip tie this and then remove my camshaft. Now you have to do that in a sequence, starting in the middle and working your way out and going ahead and replacing this second deal. You know, it might even be worth just telling these nice people that, hey, if you give me the extra time, I'll go ahead and take tomorrow morning and jump in there and replace that. So, because again, on the Ford Lincoln Jaguar 3.9 liter engine, that's its flaw, that's its weakest link, are the plastic tensioners. So, you know, might as well go ahead and change it, because the kit that I got, again, sent me two. Now, when you do remove your cam caps, whatever you do, do not lose the order that you take them out in. They have to go back in the exact same order, because if you check them with a micrometer and check the measurements on cam caps, every cam cap actually wears different from the other one. So putting the wrong cam caps in the wrong place can cause some serious major engine damage when you go to turn the camshaft over. So just keep that in mind. So again, here's an example of my cam caps, and whenever I take my cam caps off, I don't rush it. I just take my time. I loosen them up and I take them off in sequence, and you know, I take my middle one off, I lay it down, and then I go to this one, I take it off, lay it down, go to this one, take it off, lay it down, go here, take it off, lay it down, go here, take it off, lay it down. And then I just leave them right there where they're at, so I know this is the back one, that's that one, that's the middle one, that's that one, that's the front one. I know exactly where they go. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a hold of these guys and see if I can buy a couple more days here, tops, and just go ahead and replace both of these tensioners for them, because bottom line is the other tensioner is going to grenade just like this one did, because that's what they do on the Jaguar Ford 3.9 liter engine. So there you go, folks. Again, if you have this engine, if you have a Lincoln LS or a Jaguar 3.9 liter engine, and you have a broken secondary timing tensioner, the job can be done without taking the timing completely apart. Just remove your valve cover, verify that the flat spots on your camshafts line up, zip tie your chain to your exhaust cam, and then go ahead with the process and procedure of removing your exhaust cam so you can go ahead and get your tensioner out and then back in. And then also, if you've got a good set of tensioners, remember, go for the upgraded ones. And then if you know you've got a good set, because they'll also come with a set of new bolts. And make sure you torque your bolts down and all that other good stuff. So, all right, folks. Well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, and son over there playing on the punching bag there. Appreciate you guys coming out and watching me and hanging out and supporting me. If you have any questions about your projects, just shoot me a shout out in the comments. We can trade emails. I have no problem sitting down and putting our heads together, figuring things out if you're stumped on something. So other than that, folks, whoa, almost dropped the camera. Appreciate you guys. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.